Hey everyone, welcome back. Today I'm going to be building a tiny API gateway using my Raspberry Pi. You can see I got this case for my Raspberry Pi Zero. I'll give a link to that. I just kind of thought it was cool. I found it on Etsy, and so I wanted to add a little flair. This API gateway is going to be super easy. The goal of it is to basically have this be a bridge between the different devices that I'm going to be building in the upcoming videos here. And so this will be able to kind of secure the request. I'll be able to monitor the traffic. If you've ever used a service like Amazon Web Services, you know you can spin up an API gateway. This is going to be a very micro version of that. It's going to be a fun little project. As always, I'll have all my code in a GitHub repo for you to use in your projects or whatever. And so yeah, I'm excited for you guys to see the end result. Let's dive in. So I've made a little graphic here that shows us kind of the idea behind the API gateway. And so we're building this middle component right here, right? And so if let's say we had an Alexa smart plug, and every time the Alexa smart plug went on, Alexa triggered a routine based off that plug being on, right? And also simultaneously, you needed to get data from your plug to a API on the internet, and you needed your code host, a simple just, hey, here's a request, get us back data. It could be weather information. It could be really anything that you wanted it to be. If you need a spot to proxy between your device and some application on the internet, this is where this API gateway fits into this. And so you can see here, right, this device, so let's say it's our smart plug, triggers the Liten, which is what I'm calling this little CLI API gateway. In Scandinavia, Liten means very small, tiny, but efficient. I guess that's what I gathered from a little kind of Google session of, hey, what other words are for tiny? And so, yeah, our Alexa plug hits Liten, gets data from whatever internet API, sends it back, and then we can do whatever we want based off that data. And so that's kind of what we're building. That's kind of the diagram. I just wanted to illustrate it with an image. Some people are visual learners like myself, and so hopefully this helps. Okay, so we're kind of at a important part in my little project. So this is kind of a good pause moment for me. I'm gonna been kind of setting up the scaffolding here, getting the different pieces of this application all planned out, and what I've decided to do, because I'm developing on the Raspberry Pi Zero, I will probably never connect a monitor to it. I'll probably never even connect a keyboard to it. The only way I'm going to be accessing that Pi Zero is through SSH or secure shell. And what that basically is me remotely accessing the Pi 0 so that I could use the terminal that's available on the Pi 0 to input these commands. So this is going to be a command line application. You can see here I've got the pieces kind of laid out. I'm also building this in Node.js. An important kind of consideration for that is I'm a web developer by trade. That's what I do for my day job. And I'm very comfortable with Node.js applications. Now I can write Python. I could, sling some Java. But do I feel the most comfortable doing it? No. And so I'm not doing any heavy file manipulation. I'm not doing big machine learning, number crunching. So I don't need to use Python. Node.js is going to get the job done. And I can make it available on the packages repo. You folks can just use npm install and get this going. And so, yeah. And so you can see here, I'm going to have API keys. I'm going to be able to add domains. And then I've got a little logging utility so I can kind of see what errors are happening, right? And then a way to reload the configuration file. And then obviously you can exit the gateway. This is going to be pretty straightforward. I'm excited where this is at, and I'm excited to show you all where it's going to be. So let's keep going. Okay, so after a short setup here, I've got the Raspberry Pi 0 connected to my local network. So let's SSH in and kind of let me show you how we can access this. So first we need to see what IP the Raspberry Pi is configured to. So I'm going to do ping Pi.level. Let's see what it comes back with. Whoops, I spelled it wrong. Okay, spelling, bane of my existence. So there we go. 10.0.0.28. So then we go SSH. We're at that. I'm going to put in my password. And now I am in the Raspberry Pi 0. So from my Mac, I'm now able to issue commands through the Linux command line to my Raspberry Pi 0. So this is great. So got a little Raspbian setup here. And so we could run little commands. Top. This just kind of shows us, hey, this is what's taking up memory, etc. And so this is kind of just a little cool example of how we're going to get the CLI application going on this Raspberry Pi. This is awesome. So I hope you're enjoying this as much as I am. Let's get cracking. So before we get this loaded onto the Pi 0, I actually wanted to get it into version control. And so that's what I did. And so it's now on GitHub. This link is going to be in the description of the video. Keep in mind that this isn't a big production grade API gateway. The description in the repo kind of lends itself. This is meant for people that are experimenting with home automation and stuff like that. If you were to go set this up and deploy this in your business, your mileage may vary. And keep in mind this is open source, so don't blame me for anything. And pull requests are welcome. So yeah. Now that I've got this up there, I'm actually going to release it to Packagist. So that way when we go to install it on the Pi, it's just a simple npm install. And so this is going to be really cool. Okay, now I'm on my Raspberry Pi. I've got the Liten CLI loaded using npm at the packages repo you just saw in the last little screen there. There'll also be a link to that packages repo, but if you follow the link to the GitHub, all the downloaded instructions will be in the README. So let's boot up Liten. And so basically what I have is I've got this pointing to a weather API that doesn't take any API keys right now. And we are going to, so here on this terminal right here, I'm in the Raspberry Pi, I'm running Liten. We can see it just booted up on port 8080. Let's test it as an actual API gateway. So we come over here, I'm gonna curl, so if you notice here, we're gonna hit the Raspberry Pi.local, port 8080, the weather endpoint, and then we add in this data afterwards. And so basically we're asking to get the weather forecast for this latitude and longitude. Let's see what we get. Boom, a response. And so this is exactly what this project's supposed to do. I'm excited to see what you all come up with using this code. I'm very excited to have you be a part of this creative process. And yeah, let's keep hacking. Stay tuned for the next video. Until then, have a good one.